Okay, stream seems to be turned on. Checking with Twitch. Twitch is live. All right, cool. Checking with YouTube. And we're live. Perfect. Okay. We had to cut the stream early today due to some personal matters that I had to attend to. Those have been addressed. We're going to squeeze in about 2.5 hours of this development before I go to sleep and try again tomorrow morning. We have a lot to work on. Just a refresher. Here's the goals for this section of the stream. We still need to add a progression system for earning the boats and weapons. Display controls, get a tutorial going, make the enemies drop the weapons, get a death screen, add sound effects, and add music. So let's start small. Let's get the death screen put in place, because we need a way for us to lose. So let's go to blueprints, go to player boat. And if we go down here, this is our damage function. We know this is working, so we can get rid of the print string and instead just log it straight into here. So, we need to create a widget to let the player know that they've lost and that they're going to get booted back to the main menu, and we also need it to trigger a save state to save the player's wave count. So, we're also going to need the game mode open because we're going to get our wave count from the here. Well, we need to tweak it because the wave count is going to get clamped in order to control this spawning method. So instead, what we're going to do is when we get down to here, you know what? Let's just make a new integer. We'll call it wave type. Or what we can do, call this one wave, change this one to wave type, and then change this back to wave count. And then what we'll do is just zoom out a bit, grab the increments for the wave type, lay them a little bit to the left, grab everything else, including you, slide to the right, get wave count, increment it. Do the same here. Just do the same all the way down, truth be told. Now we'll hold on to that. Let's go to our widgets here, add a new one. Death screen. And this one's going to be fairly simple. We can probably steal from the pause menu. Pause menu is very simple. So let's first start off with a background blur. Make sure we're doing desired on screen. We're going to make this 1920 by 1080p, anchor it in the center. We're going to get a vertical box. And in this vertical box, we're going to start by having some text. And make it say, game over. Make sure that it is in big bold text. Outline size 5, give it size 2 shadows. And then make sure it is centered. Cool. Next we're gonna need to get some buttons in here. Yeah, let's do buttons first. Button. We'll call this the retry button. Maybe instead of a retry button, we'll do a return to menu button, and we'll have another button for quitting the game. Cool. Now, I don't want these buttons to be filling. I would like them to be centered. Oh, where did that go? Okay, it's right there. It's fine. Let's get some text, just so that way these stay visible to us. So return to menu. Well, we could just say main menu. Make sure that it's our format that we want. Outline size 5, 2x2 shadows. Here, we'll do this, and then we'll do that. Make the button center. Change the text to quit game. And then we'll add a stat screen in between, but for now we want functionality for these. So first things first, I forgot to do something. We need to make sure that these texts are not hit testable, so they don't block the functionality of the button. So once we click on the return to menu button, what we're gonna do is just open level by name, menu level, I think is what we called it, right? Menu level lowercase. Okay. There. That's pretty much all we need to do. For the quick game button, we're just going to mirror the option that we had for... I think the pause menu button has a quick game button, right? Yeah, that same functionality. Hold on, got something in my... Here we go. Okay, quick game. Create the quick game widget. Set main menu as false. And add to viewport remove from parent. That's pretty much all we need to do for this. So what that'll essentially do is when we quit the game, it'll ask you, are you sure you want to quit the game? And then you can choose to quit the game from there. But we do need to do something in this quick game thing, because it's going to return the pause menu if we're not careful. So let's add another variable. Let's set it to death screen. So branch. So if death screen is false, we'll open up the pause menu. And if death screen is true, copy all this over and say death screen. That way, if the player changes their mind and they don't want to quit, they can go back to the death screen options and review that information. Oh, Davy's unofficial son, welcome to the stream. Okay. Death screen functionality is pretty much all set in stone. So let's add some stats counters, which we can't do. What do you mean by obscure? Sorry, I don't remember what I said a few minutes ago. What did I say about obscure? Actually, if we do try, we do want to pause the game. Making an obscure boat game. Oh, right. I'm so sorry. I'm running on fumes, if I'm being honest. So the premise for this Game Jam project is a friend of mine. I consulted him about a couple projects in the past, so I thought I would consult him again this time around. And he told me, hey, have you heard of this game called Naval Ops Warship Gunner from 2003? And I was like, I've never heard of this in my entire life. And he goes, Cool. Here's some YouTube videos about it. Why don't you remake that game? So that's what we're doing. I took it as a good opportunity to learn some mechanics in Unreal Engine that I'm not familiar with. I also took it as a challenge because I've never made any kind of gameplay mechanics that aren't human related, like first-person shooters or third-person shooters. So it was a pretty exciting prospect to give this one a whirl. Yeah, it's pretty niche. I've never heard of this game, and I didn't know it was a series of games until he told me about it, and I did some homework. Unfortunately, didn't get time to play the game and test it out for myself because A, it's not it's not publicly listed on an online storefront as far as I'm aware, but also B, even emulators have not figured out how to get the game running yet. So the only way to play it is to get a physical copy, and the buddy who recommended the project to me just didn't have time to have me come over and check it out. Okay, so we added death mechanic. Cool, that's one thing done. We need to just progression system or display controls. Progression system's more important. Okay, so right now, if you beat all these waves, that's pretty much it. So we need to find ways to make this more challenging after the fact. Good news, we don't need to worry about the death screen too much after this. Well, I guess maybe something we can do is center the vertical box. There we go. And then set the background blur to be... Let's set it to value 5. Cool. Are you gonna do set levels or infinite levels? I'm gonna do infinite levels. I kind of want this to be kind of a rogue light, I think is how they call it, where yeah, when you die you kind of reset, but you also gain some assets to carry on to your next playthrough. Speaking of which, I need to create a way for those assets to be acquired. That's my current difficulty. So let's make, we need to make a drop, essentially. So we have our 3 enemy types. They do nothing when they die other than disappear. As you can see, you know, event any damage. If your health is below 0, destroy yourself. That's all they do. We want them to be able to drop resources for the player to collect, so that way they can increase the available weapons to them. So to do that, we need to make an actor that they can drop. What languages do you know? I am obviously English native speaker, but I'm studying Japanese on the side. I wouldn't consider myself like an advanced speaker, but I did go to Japan recently and I managed okay. Loot drop. Here we go. Oh, programming. I did try to learn Python back in university. Unfortunately, I didn't get very far, so what I know is very rudimentary. And I'm using Unreal Engine's blueprint system for this project, and it's what I'm most familiar with. Python is fun. What little I learned of it, I thought was really cool. Let's create an enumeration for the loot. Wave spawn, player weapon slots. Kind of want to use this. Let's not use that. Blueprints, enumeration. Weapon, loot, enum. Python is really simple, which is probably my favorite part about it. It is very simple. If I had more patience to sit down and learn it and the passion to use it as my game programming language of choice, I probably would do that, but I'm so deep in blueprints right now, it's kind of all I want to really learn, especially since I'm using Unreal Engine for personal use and currently professional use as well. Python is 100% not a game dev language in your opinion. No, that's totally a fair opinion. It's my opinion as well, but Pygame isn't an engine you can just write off. If you want to do 2D game development, it's actually not a bad option. Let's add another one called armor points. High game isn't too bad. Nah, not at all. It's pretty all right. Switch on weapon loot enum. Definitely not the worst option for dev. No, there's definitely worse options out there. Okay. How do I want to do this? I think something like Go would work so much better for game dev, though. I'm not familiar with Go. I haven't really paid attention to the Python scene in a good while, so definitely interested in that. We don't need the none field. I don't know why I added that. Determining if loot is going to drop is going to be the responsibility of the enemy actor, not the loot actor itself. Random integer in range. Go is Godot's scripting language. Oh, you're wrong on that. Okay, I thought so. It's like I didn't know that Godot did Python. I thought it was its own proprietary language. 0 to 3. There we go. I thought Godot was GD script. Yeah, I think it's GD script as well. Okay. Set. No. Drop integer. We'll do that. Make this an integer. Yeah, hi, Ewan. Good to see you here. Oh, I wish I had my glasses on. Oh, thank you, Davies, for the follow. I really appreciate it. The support I get on these game gems is always so motivating. It makes me want to do game gems all the time, but days like today, it reminds me like how unhealthy it is to do game gems back to back to back to back, which is why I waited so long to do this one. Okay, for now we're just gonna set that like that, and then to make them visible, we'll get a static mesh. We'll just get a cube. 1 meter cube? 1 meter cube. Bam. Okay, so now what we need to do is event begin, actor begin overlap. Yes. Maybe some of the calmer gems might be good. The issue isn't necessarily the gems themselves, but more how I take them on myself, if I'm being honest. Because I do take game gems. Okay, let me back up a little bit. The whole reason I started doing game gems is I kind of talked about it in my YouTube video about the 8-hour game jam I did by myself. But I spent almost 15 years wishing I was a game developer, and every time I tried to learn game development, I didn't have any goals in mind. I didn't have any targets. So what would end up happening is I would start a project, and once I started that project, I would get frustrated because none of the tutorials were exactly what I needed, and I didn't like what they were telling me to do. I didn't understand why they were telling me to do it, and I would just get frustrated, close the game engine of my choice, whatever it was, Unity, Unreal, Roblox, whatever it was. And then I would come back 3 months later and go, I don't recognize anything I wrote, delete the whole project, start again from scratch. And I got tired of that cycle. So I did an 8-hour game jam just to force myself to make something finished And I've been taking game jams ever since to continue learning and forcing myself to learn new things about Unreal and Blender, for that matter. For a healthy way of doing game jam, like Dev, just hang out doing your normal stuff till you figure out a small game idea, then make it. I do that on occasion with Minecraft servers. Issue being is I'm less of an ideas guy and more of a I want to realize someone's concept, or I want to adapt a concept that already exists. Like my two dream games are adaptations of games I already love, with just small tweaks to cater to what I enjoy about them more particularly. So it would never happen if I wait for that kind of stuff. Okay, we want to make sure that the character is the one picking it up. Okay, so we need the... Did I close the save? I did not mean to close the save. Okay, so let's do custom events, collect loot, and then we'll add an input here. It'll be an integer, and we'll call it loot collected, I think. Okay, let me talk through my idea real quick, just to make sure it's making sense. So we're gonna have the enemies have a % chance to drop this loot box. Let's call it what it is. It's a loot box. And when it spawns, it's going to decide if it's going to be a single barrel cannon, a triple barrel cannon, a torpedo, or an armor point. And then label itself that using this integer value. What I want to happen is when the player overlaps with this thing, I don't think we need this branch now that I'm saying that, because what we can do, cast to player character, or cast to player boat, and then do collect loot, and then set the integer to that. Now, based on this, right, because this integer also can control this switch, this enumeration, all we need to do here is switch on weapon loot enum, get a select node, plug this directly into here, because this will tell the player what they looted. Armor points. Cool. And then based on that, we're going to need to get our save game and save that information. Which reminds me, we need to add a save at the death screen as well. Luckily, that's not too terrible to do in Unreal Engine. So I think what we're going to do is maybe... I'm trying to decide if we need to load our save before we decide what gets looted, or... it doesn't matter. Load save from slot. We currently call it slot 1. Cast to boat save. And then what we're gonna do is get single barrel cannon count and increment it. So what that means is, so just to catch everyone else up, when you first load the game, you're gonna be able to have one single barrel cannon, and as you play the game, you will pick up single barrel cannons from dead enemies. So we're going to increase how many are in your save state, so that way every time you load a new mission, you get an additional cannon to place on your boat. That's how this is going to work. And then we just got to finish off by saying save game to slot and slot 1. That way it actually saves. And now we just need to do this for all of these. And then we're going to use armor points as the currency to purchase ammo and purchase bigger ships. That is my current idea. We will see if that's fun. And tomorrow morning, I will probably go, wow, this isn't fun. Why did I think this was a good idea? And I won't remember, and that's fine, because the only person who's gonna care are the people who play this game and myself. Which I don't think a lot of people will end up playing this game, which is totally fine, because ultimately this is a learning project for me. And I've learned a lot doing this project, and that's the best part, is the fact that I actually learned some stuff. Get triple barrel cannons count. Like, okay, for everyone who's new to this series of streams, I didn't know you could like do a place anywhere mechanic so simply in Unreal. Like, it was definitely hard to implement because I'm so inexperienced with those mechanics, but once you figure it out, it's like, damn, it's actually that easy. Wow, I wish I knew that. One more time, we need to do it for the armor points that we just added to the save system. Armor points. Bam. Cool. Let's add the actual... Let's add some visual distinction to this. So just for testing purposes, go to enemies. Actually, let's go to here. Make a new material. We'll call it armor points. And I'm going to steal some ideas from my beloved game, Earth Defense Force. Armor points are going to be red boxes. And we'll make them very rough, so that way they don't reflect too hard. Oh, Unreal, please don't crash. Thank you. I appreciate it. So, just to test real quick. That's what that looks like. So what we're going to do is, once it decides what it's going to be, set material, armor points. And armor points is at the bottom of that enumeration, so we'll just slide that down here. I do apologize if if it sounds like I sigh or like hold my breath or something. I'm trying not to burp because I downed an energy drink before this stream. Okay, we need one for torpedoes, triple barrel cannons, and single barrel cannons. So let's do that real quick. Luckily, we can now just duplicate this and do single cannon. And let's set this color to blue. Single cannon. We can close these now. Duplicate this one more time. We'll call this triple cannons. We'll make this green? Sure. Let's make it like a dark green too. Triple. So we have red, blue, green. Let's make one more. Call it torpedoes. Set the color to yellow? Yeah, why not? It doesn't really matter. This is a testing material. If we have time, we'll make some proper boxes, but for now, this is what we need to do. Torpedoes. Cool. So now we just gotta add that probability of spawning. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to blueprints, go to enemies, and start with the PT boats. So before the PT boats can destroy themselves, we need them to have a chance of spawning that loot. So, are you going to die? Yes, you're dead. Cool. Next, do a branch. And Unreal has a really cool thing called a weighted boolean. Now, booleans in Unreal Engine are typically like 50-50. It's a yes or no kind of thing. But with random bool with weight, we can decide, is it really 50-50 or is there some weight to it? So what we're going to do here is we're going to make it a 30% chance for any kind of loot to spawn. That's what we're going to do. So if no loot spawns, destroy the actor. But if loot does spawn, we're going to do spawn actor from class. We're going to get a reference to self. Get transform, get actor transform. Ooh, actually, you know what? I do not want to do actor transform because then the loot will spawn really, really tiny. So let's get actor location, split this, and plug in the actor location like so. That's not Boolean, that's weighted RNG with Boolean output. Odd name. Yeah. Very odd name, but it works. Loot drop. There we go. And then we'll add a short delay because we've had issues with Unreal this week where if you don't add a delay, it'll try to destroy the actor at the same time it does this. So we'll do a 0.1 delay, and on completion, destroy actor. Cool. So now the small boats have a chance of spawning loot. Now we need to do the same thing for the battleships and the cruisers, which luckily we can literally just copy this and that should just carry over just fine. So just go to the death area, highlight that. Oh, maybe delete that first, then highlight. Line this up. And then do that one more time with the cruiser enemies. Oh god, no, I'm slouching in my chair again. There we go. There we go. Okay, now they all have a chance of spawning loot. Now we want to test that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just start from the main menu so I can customize my boat. Start game, new game, small boat. Give me the single barrel cannon, please. Right, it's a 30% chance. Oh my god. I should have increased the odds. There it is. Okay, so if I pick this up... Oh, that's unfortunate. Probably should have checked that. Make this overlap all dynamic. And then make sure we disable gravity on this. Enable gravity. Physics, here we go. Make sure that the gravity is disabled is here as well. Okay. Let's temporarily... Well, first off, let's set this back down to 0 so we're fighting enemies of our own level real quick. Oops. Okay, so there's our little friendly boat. Oh my god, my aim is terrible. There we go. Got a hit. No loot. Oh, that's a torpedo. There's one. What are you doing? The thing that didn't spawn loot, I guess. Oh my god, I'm such a bad shot. No loot. That's tough. It should be spawning the next wave now. Oh, you know what? It won't spawn the next wave. How did I forget this the whole time? What's supposed to happen is... Can begin play, start next wave does this. Wave counter goes up. It does all this, right? There's nothing telling the game mode that we're ready for the next wave. We need to set that up. So, and by set that up, we don't really need to do anything in the game mode, I'm realizing, because the wave counter gets controlled here. What we need to do is, at the same time that it runs a chance of spawning loot, or actually maybe just before it would be smart. Cast 2, combat game mode. Get game mode. Get this a little more to the right. We're gonna have to do this for every one of these actors, by the way. Start next wave. That is literally all we need to add. So, slide these to the right, add that, plug it in, and now when they die... Oh shoot, you know what? This is gonna be when they die, every single time they die. I need to do this a little bit differently than I thought. Combat game mode. Okay, I know how to do this. So before we start next wave, we want to get a branch. And we want to make sure that this spawn count, and this spawn count are now equal to 0. So hook these up. And then do and boolean. All three of these have to be true before we spawn the next wave. So, one more thing we need to do to make sure that works is instead of start next wave, we also need to add a get pt, whoops, pp underscore. Okay, what did I call them? Get TP boat spawn count, okay. Get PT. Oh, you better not be doing this to me again. TP. Get TP boat. There we go. Goodness sakes. Get a decrement. Okay. So what this does is it'll, when it dies, it'll tell the game mode, hey, there's one less of us on the field. And then to check if we can start the next wave. If this is 0, if this is 0, and if this is 0, then we can start the next wave, because these are set as a value at the start. So now that that's taken care of for the PT boats, we need to do the same thing for the battleships. So we'll just grab this like that. Grab all of this and you, scoot you to the right, paste it here. I pasted too much. Okay, well. get battle, nope, destroyer spawn count and decrement. Okay, that should be all we need to do here. Yeah. Okay. One more time for the cruiser enemies. Oh, I didn't even add the other thing in here. Okay, well. Slide that. It's that. Then get cruiser spawn count, decrement, on wave count. Cool. Now we can test this. There's our hit. Oh, I missed. There we go. That's one. That's two. Last boat. That's one hit. Oh, he dropped loot. Can we pick up the loot? I don't know if we actually picked it up. Okay, there's two boats there. There's two boats there. There should be two more boats. There they are. Okay, it's working. So... we need to destroy actor. So delay here. Destroy actor. And then just to make sure that this is working, let's set that weight to 0.9. Try again. Let's set our threat in the back. Just for funsies. Oh, come on. That should have fit. Okay, well. I have people chasing me, so how about we just shoot those guys? There's one hit. There's loot. Hey! Okay. Oh my god, more loot. Okay, cool. We know that works. We should probably note that down. We added a death screen mechanic, added loot boxes, added loot drops from enemy kills, fixed wave spawning in combat game mode. Okay, we need to fix small thing. Hitboxes are visible on here. They don't need to be visible anymore. We know what they do, and we know that they work. So we can go ahead and uncheck that. Okay. Loot is working, but does that loot save properly is the next question. So collect loot is supposedly saving. Call this loot system. Okay, so the load game system which is over here. Start game, here we go. Load game. Oh, I didn't even fix that. Okay. Does save game exist? Called slot 1. Branch. Load game from save slot. Slot 1. If false, leave it disabled. But if it's true, cast to boot save. And then is wave count. Get wave, sorry. Yeah, get wave count. Branch here. Is wave count greater than 0? If yes, get load game set is enabled to true. So now we need to find a way to save this information. We definitely want to save when we quit. So we're gonna have to do some work. Let's start with the quit game. If we hit quit game, I don't want to save. Maybe just save everything on death screen first. Let's start with that. So player vote. There's our death screen. Alternatively, actually, we can just make a save system here. I don't think we've done that. Pause menu, load player arsenal, movement input, shoot all owned turrets, mouse input, zoom. This we can get rid of. We don't need this anymore. That's for testing. And weapon switching. Okay, cool. Let's make our save system then. So we're gonna need to save a lot of information here. So custom event, save game to slot. So I think when we hit new game, yeah, when we hit new game, it creates a save game, so we don't need to worry about that. So load game from slot 1, cast to boot save. And we're gonna need to save a lot of information here. So let's set up some small stuff first. Cast to combat game mode. Get game mode, because we want to save how many waves we've survived. I don't know why I closed the game mode. Okay, we just want to save the wave count. That's all we need to save from that. So get wave count, set wave count. So we'll put that on the down low. We'll set this here. Let's slide this up slightly. With this, put this on the down low as well. Cool. So we have that saved. Loot is saved as we play, so we don't think we need to worry about that. What else do we need to save? It'd be nice if we saved how many kills we got. That might be something we need to set up too. Is there really anything else I want to save? I feel like this is stuff I kind of want to load too. So we load the player arsenal, pick boat, yada 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 yada. Okay, there's just more stuff we want to save, and I'm just already feeling burnt out. So let's just add battleship unlocked question mark. We'll make this boolean, and then we'll duplicate that and say cruiser unlocked. And the reason I'm doing that is just so that way we can keep track of what the player has and has not unlocked. Man, I'm so... Let me drink some more of this energy drink. Oh. Okay. Go back to start game here. Start game is pretty straightforward, so we don't need to worry about that. We're saving on death, which we actually need to add as a function. So once that's done, save game to slot. Save game. Okay. We need the widget for the pick boat. Select boat. Here we go. Something else I need to check. The start game. If we click load game, does it select boat, add to viewport? Okay. Ooh, you know what? We gotta battleship. Want to create a binding here. Remote to variable. Battleship enabled, question mark. So branch. Cast to, actually, load game from slot 1. And then cast to boat save. And then get battleship unlocked. If battleship unlocked is true, we will set this button as this is not what I want. Is enabled is what I wanted to create the binding for. There we go. Okay, we can just copy all this. Cool. Actually, I think we could just kind of do that. If the battleship is not unlocked, it'll automatically make the boat not selectable. Yeah, see? Simple enough. And then if we go back into our boat save and set that to true real quick, just for testing purposes. Boom, selectable. Cool. Uncheck that now. We need to do this one more time for the cruiser now, which is pretty straightforward. Cruiser is enabled, create a binding, drag this back, paste that here, hook this up, get cruiser unlocked, and then just link that up there. Cool. Now we just need to come up with a way for the player to unlock said boats. So I think we should add some armor values as points here. Oh, why did I choose to make this game so complicated? Let's get some text. And roll up a little bit. Add it to this vertical box here. Select the text. And just say unlocked. Give it our typical formatting here. And then center it. Cool. Then what we'll do is get a button. Ooh. Stop. Think for a second. Think for a second. Do we want to complicate this any more than it already is? This is already getting more complex than the project scope originally was. Screw it. Look, upgrades are cool, okay? I want to make this an upgradable. I want the player to be able to increase the health of their ships as they go. I don't know why this came over me just now, but it did. So we're doing it. Why does the text look so wrong? Okay, what if I just delete the text and get new text? Text is not displaying the way I want it to, which is annoying, but whatever. Oh, because I was doing letter spacing, not... Okay. That's on me. That's on me. Okay. Copy this, paste that there. Change the text to... Oh, let's create a binding. Because that text is going to be a little bit dynamic. Promote that to variable. Call that upgrade text. So what we're going to need to do is load game from slot 1. Cast to boat save. And then get battleship unlocked to the left. Branch. And if the battleship is unlocked, we set the text to upgrade. And if it's not, we set it to unlock. I don't know. We're doing 1 armor point at a time, so I don't want this game to be hyper grindy. Maybe 25 armor points. We're gonna have to come up with a way to display that now. Here, for now, keep it simple. Plug this in like that. So now, there we go. Okay, so, boat save. Good God. Let's organize this a little bit just for my sanity. Let's call this weapon stats. I don't think we use this anywhere, so we can get rid of that. Okay, compile save. Okay. Armor points is not weapon stats, so we can set that back to default. Okay. Currently our health is being tracked as a float, and we currently have it set to 100. That's not controlled by anything else, is it? Okay, it is. So let's add another stat. We'll call it bonus health. Because we do want the health to scale based on the size of the boat. So what we'll do is when we're loading our arsenal, pick boat. Boat choice. Let's add an input on pick boat and call it bonus health. That's not gonna work because if we upgrade different ships, I want to scream. Okay, let's add 3 variables then. PT, boat, bonus, health. Make that a float. Duplicate that. This will be the battleship. Bonus, health. Duplicate this one more time. Call this cruiser, bonus, health. I can't believe I'm doing this. Back this down. Are these hooked up? Yeah, they are. PT, bonus health. Battleship. Bonus health. And cruiser bonus health. Cool. Float plus float. Set health. There, that's what we need to do. This is getting so out of hand. Lie to the right. Hook this up. Hook this up. There we go. Okay. This is getting so out of hand. Okay, that's pretty straightforward actually. Okay. Make sure this text is not hit testable. We'll start adding some functionality to this. So let's make this quick. It doesn't need to be that complicated. Load game from slot. Slot 1. Cast to boat save. Get sets PT bonus health. We're going to set it equal to get PT bonus health plus 10. We're going to let the player upgrade their health by 10 units per upgrade. Is that going to be a whole lot? Not necessarily, but every little bit helps. So, I should probably name this to upgrade underscore PT. We'll change this to upgrade battleship. And then what we'll do is on clicked. Because this is also going to be the unlock mechanics, so we need to load game from slot. Slot 1. Cast a boat save. Battleship unlocked. Branch. And if it's not unlocked, we want to make sure get armor points. Oh, right, we need to add a cost here too. Oh my god. Okay. Drag this out. Get armor points. Is it greater than or equal to? Let's add something arbitrary here. Let's make it cost 10 armor points to upgrade the PT boat's armor by 10. That doesn't sound too bad. God, it's gonna get complicated so fast. Okay, is the battleship unlocked? If yes, then we just need to see if we can upgrade it. So, branch. We'll make it cost, I don't know, 25 to upgrade the... I'm gonna sneeze. No, I'm not. I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on. Ow. Okay, we're good. Oh. Get battleship bonus health. Plus 10. Well, battleship health plus, yeah, plus 10, plus 10, plus 10. We don't need to go too crazy here. And then down here, basically do the same thing. Just get a branch. And ask ourselves, if the battleship is not unlocked, do you have the armor points to unlock it? And let's set it to be, I don't know, 50 to unlock it. I want the players to kind of want it. And the gameplay is not too hard right now, so it might be fine. If it is, set battleship unlocked to true. Oh, we also need to subtract the armor points. So we need to set armor points equal to get armor points minus 25 here. And then do the same thing down here. We can simplify this by just dragging this down, dragging it across. Drag this across. Set armor points equal minus 50. Okay. Now we just got to do an equivalent over here. Set armor points equal to armor points minus 10. Cool. All right. We're most of the way there. Jesus. If we test this, It's functioning, I think. Since we arbitrarily decided the cost of the upgrade for the battleship, what did we say it was? 50 to unlock, 25 to upgrade. Let's do that. Upgrade. Cost 25. And then unlock. Cost 50. Okay. That means we need to change the text down here. Be cost 10. I forgot to add the colon. There we go. And then we'll just add some placeholder text here as well, just so that way we have visibility on what this is going to look like. Cost 50 or 25. It doesn't matter. Cool. Copy this down to here for the cruisers as well. Oh, right. Wave binding. We don't need to worry about that. Right? Yeah, because we check if they have it unlocked anyway. Okay. Let's create the binding for the text. Luckily, we can pretty much mimic what we did before. Cruiser, upgrade, text. Just more or less copy this information here and flavor text it to the cruiser. Cruiser unlocked. Plug it in. Bam. If true, set cruiser text to that. And if false, set it to that. Which will be unlock cost. Okay. I think the cruiser should cost quite a bit of money, so let's do 100. And we'll make upgrading it cost 50. Ta-da! Now we just need to do text alignment. And button functionality. So hit that button. We can pretty much copy most of this. And then we just need to tweak a few things to be what we need it to be. So first of all, rename that button to upgrade cruiser. Okay, so replace this with cruiser unlocked. The armor points can stay the same, except we need to change the value. I think we said 50 to upgrade, 100 to unlock, right? So that'll be that. We need to set cruiser unlocked to true. And then replace this with the set cruiser bonus health, or no, get cruiser bonus health first. Get cruiser bonus, oh my god. Get cruiser bonus health. There we go. Look it in there. And then just raise this here a bit. Set cruiser bonus health. This. Minus 50. Minus 100. Minus 50, minus 50, minus 25, minus 25, minus 10, minus 10. Alright, cool. Cool. Now we just need a way to display how much money the user has. We'll hide it in the upper left here. I think that's going to be the best way to go about it. Or we can technically hide it above this horizontal box. Just grab some text and say just drop this in the middle here. Call it total armor points. Copy this real quick. Create binding. Promote to variable. We'll call it armor points text. Load game from slot. Slot 1. Cast a boat save. Get a branch. Or not a branch. Just get armor points. Actually, we didn't even need to make that a variable. I don't know why I did that. Because what we can do is get an append string node, make it a string to text, paste total armor points, add a spacebar, set armor points down to here. Bam. Ta-da, total armor points. Cool. Can we get a background blur? No, let's not do that. Let's just make this just as big. Select your boat. Total armor points, 0. Yeah, this menu's ugly, but it is better than what we were working with before. Well, better than what we were working with before, simply because we didn't have much going on before this. Yeah, the buttons are starting to clip into each other, but I'm not gonna lose sleep over it, because what's important is that this all works. So next I want to allow the player to control how much ammo they are entering the field with. Which I really shouldn't be doing this to myself, but that's what we're doing. So let's add another button below each of these. Yeah, right here should be fine. Text. Rename this to single ammo. And we'll just say buy 10 rounds. Yeah, rounds. Cost. We'll make it cheap. Armor points are already kind of hard to come by. 5 points. Oh, do we not say points? Nope, we just say number. Points. Man, I don't want to add all this text. Let's add it in and just see what it looks like. 50 points. Okay, it's not that big of an inconvenience. We can do that real quick. Oh my god. Points. Compile and save. Oh, right. Points. Points. Perfect. Okay, cool. Outline size 5. Shadows are 2 and 2. Make sure that text is not hit testable. Yeah, that should be pretty much all we need for that. And then on clicked, load game from slot 1, cast to boat save, then get armor points, get a branch. I think we said 5 points. 5 points. Is armor points greater than or equal to 5? And if so, set single barrel ammo pool to get single barrel ammo pool plus 10. And then we need to set the armor points to be lower. Get armor points minus 10. How much did I say it cost? 5 points to get 10 rounds? Okay. 5. Set armor points. Here we go. Now we can buy ammo. We should put some text at the top here. I guess not that way. There we go. No. We need a vertical box. Vertical. Okay. Read that wide. Now we can add some text. Set this to be 32. Select your... How about just equip your ship? Then we can just just duplicate this. And say, what did we say in the other menu? Total armor points. Total armor points. I think this was actually supposed to be 48. And then that's 32. Create binding. Get an append string. Convert that to text. Total armor points. Add another pin here. Points. Grab that. Paste that here. Bam. So let's pretend we have, I don't know, 20 armor points. Boom, we have 20 armor points. Let's say we choose the PT small boat. Boom. Equip your ship. Got this many armor points. We can do that now. Unfortunately, the menu is starting to get a little overwhelming for the boat customization menu, so we're gonna have to do something with that. Maybe shrinking the buttons might help, but one thing at a time. Because we also want to keep this centered. We need to fix the outlining on this to match with the rest of our fonts that we've been utilizing. Okay. And then we also need to add that buy ammo button. Why did I do this to myself? Triple ammo button. Let's do buy 30 rounds for 15 points. And then we need to make that button work. And we can do that by basically just doing this and changing out the few values that matter. So slot 1, we want to add 30 rounds. 2, get triple barrel ammo pool. Set triple barrel ammo pool. Did I ever change that triple barrel ammo pool back to 0? Yeah, I did, okay. Because I remember I raised it to like 500 or something like that. Okay, so we're starting with 50. 50 is a lot for a first-time player. Might be best to... Let's start them with... We want them to learn that they have to fail in order to get the ammo they need to keep fighting, but we also want to make sure that they're not fighting too hard just to get the armor points, because they could end up with a net 0. Let's give them 10 to start. And then when player boat starts, single barrel cannons count, blah, 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 blah. Set the ammo pool. We'll do that plus 10. This will be their safety net. They will always have, at minimum, 10 single barrel ammo to start. Here we go. Now you can't soft lock yourself out of the game, in case that happens. Now we need to do torpedoes. This one, let's do buy 5 for I don't know, 10 points. Sure. 140 by 140, 140 by 240. Here we go. We forgot to align these texts. Here we go. So, good news. You always have ammo. And you can buy ammo if you want more. Bad news is you have to unlock these weapons by finding them in the world. In the world? In missions. Same thing. Okay, so equip your ship, total armor points, that gets displayed. Right. Functionality for the buy torpedo ammo button. Not you. You. Torpedo ammo button. I also don't think we changed the values for the triple barrel cannon. So 15. And for 15, you get 30. And then minus 15. There we go. Now I just gotta do the same thing as we did before, but for the torpedoes now. Drag this to the side, plug this in. So on load save game, get the boat save game object. Do you have 10 armor points? And if you do have 10 armor points, we will get our torpedo ammo pool and increase it by 10 and set that as the new torpedo ammo pool. Then we will subtract 10 armor points from your armor points wallet. Cool. That is all set up now. I should probably comment off some of this stuff. It's fine. Boat customization's done. Enemies now drop the loot. We save on death. Hold on. Boat customization widget. Are we loading? Does save game exist? We don't need to do that. Save game does exist. Load from slot 1, cast a boat save, single barrel cannon count, triple barrel. We need to display how much ammo the player actually already has too. That's something important. So let's get, we can actually just steal this text here. And let's display it beneath here. Oh shoot. Okay, we'll do that. And then we'll go 1. And say current ammo space. Create a binding. Get an append string. Get an append string. Tie that up to text. And say current ammo space. And then add space rounds. Actually, instead of a space, what if we do shift enter? There we go. Load game from slot 1. Cast to boat save. Hook this up. Get torpedo ammo pool. All right, let's see what that looks like. Current ammo 0 rounds. Cool. Let's, to make that look a little bit better, we're gonna add a non-functional button to it. So we'll just add it here. Do that. Just Make sure we get an idea of what this looks like. Not hit testable, perfect. And then NF button 1. Not hit testable. And then just to make sure, what does not hit testable look like for this? Cool. What if we hit not enabled? Okay, we don't want to do that. Let's just give it an ugly color. So background color is what we want to change. Let's just bring this down to black. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that's kind of what I want. This menu is getting so big though. Vertical box. Well, let's focus on one thing at a time here. Grab you, paste you here, bump you up one, and then make sure we give this its own custom binding. So let's change this to get torpedo ammo. This will be get triple ammo. Copy this. Paste this here. Look this up proper. Get rid of this. Get triple ammo pool. And then do that one more time. There we go. Okay, almost done. Get single ammo. Drag that down here. Drag across. Slide to the right. Get rid of you. Get single ammo pool. Okay, so now when the player gets to the ship customization screen, they're told equip your ship. Here's how much armor points you have. You currently have this many of each weapon. You currently have this much ammo for each of them, and here's how much it costs to get X number of ammo for said weapon. And then you deploy. Okay. We definitely want the customization screen to zoom out a bit, so let's hit save all real quick. I think the select boat menu is done too, so we can close that. Death screen. We do want to do stuff in here, so let's hold on to that. Let's go to customization actor. Event begin play, main menu widget, yada 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 yada. What? Event begin play, event begin play. Oh, right. Start customization. There we go. Okay. Pick boat. We're gonna want to increase all of these, so let's set this to 300 just for a trial. Oh, that's so unfortunate. What if we change the array to... Oh, Throbbing, hi. How's it going? We're just working on trying to clean up the rest of this game's mechanics for the game jam. Hope you're doing good. I'm hanging in there. I'm admittedly pushing myself right now. I'm gonna have to wake up early tomorrow to continue this as well. You have a question for me? Sure, shoot, go right ahead. What if we just... 180. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Do you have that Kobe mentality? David mentality? I don't know what those mean. I'm sorry. I really don't know what those mean. I'm just working. Number pin value. Do you think you can do it, or do you know you can do it? Ooh. One day or day one? I think we can definitely get this game operating as intended, at least by tomorrow. It's more so the polish that I was hoping to achieve with this game is probably not going to happen. We somehow managed to scramble all of the important mechanics that I was aiming for, but the polish is going to be pretty tough. For me, I will never be a sheep. Okay, I mean, cool. We'll never have a one-day mentality. Okay, that's pretty good, honestly. Let me run through this real quick. Start game, new game, small boat. You need to have that confidence. I think my confidence is just waning because I've been working for 10 days. Well, 9 days. It'll be 10 tomorrow. And we've hit a lot of obstacles that I was not ready for. And it took way longer than it should have to get those done. Like, ultimately, I think we can get this done. That's not the concern. It's more so, how am I going to feel when we finish at this point? We need to move this. The camera's currently positioned like this. During the boat customization, it's facing that way. Okay, hold on. I need to do this for my own sake. It's doing this. We need to move the Z value, probably. It took years to start Elder Scrolls with 40 people. Yeah. Camera position array. Okay, what if we... Camera boom position. Positions that. It's currently at 1016. 1000. So what if we do 1200? $1,500. I don't think that's changing very much. Camera position array. Let's try something ridiculous. Let's try 2000. Yeah, it's not moving. Start customization launches the customization screen, adds it to the viewport, and starts the pick boat function, which is here. The skeletal mesh, set the target arm length, and then get the new relative transform. Relative transform is right here. So maybe instead of tweaking this, let's set this back to 1000. What if we tweak this? I think that improved it. Yeah, that's definitely improving it. Oh, Throbbing, thanks for the follow. Sorry, I'm trying to just get this done. Stay hard, stay strong. I will. I'll be working on this tomorrow morning as well. So, stay true to yourself. Will do. I'm always striving for that personal bar of quality. Ooh, too far. Okay. Oh, because I did 15. 1,500 is what I'm aiming for here. There we go. Okay. And this still works as intended? Yes. Nice. Okay. The lighting's a little bit harsh, but we can tweak that later. We're gonna need to check this for all of these now. I think, are we setting boat choice? Boat choice is being set by the menu, so we need to go to boat save. I think, therefore I am. Yeah, that's a good mentality to go with. Thank you, Throbbing. Okay, so if we go back to here, start game, new game, medium boat. Okay, so we need to zoom out and we need to slide the camera to the left. So, go to the boat customization actor. We can just go to the array here. Well, first, let's set the arm length to, let's shoot for 1,500. Test that zoom. Okay, that zoom is good. Might be too much, honestly, but yeah, let's tweak it. We have time. It's still too much. Maybe 1,000? 1,000 feels good. So let's set the camera position to 1,500, just the same as we did before. That's better. Let's try 2,000. We may need to jump quite a bit. Let's try... Ooh, did I change it in the wrong place? I did change it in the wrong place. Let's try 2,000. Get in there, get in there. Let's try 3,500. We're gonna start pushing the boundaries of this screen real estate here. 4,500? Yeah, we're gonna need to zoom out some more, which is unfortunate because you can barely see the turrets. Let's go 1,200. Okay, yeah, that's some more real estate that we can work with. Let's go 5K. And go further. 5,500. Almost. Go 6,500. Yes! Ah. Oh. Let me drink some celebratory water. Okay, one more ship. The cruiser. So let's set that target arm length to about the same. And then just as a precaution, let's copy these coordinates and just paste them here. Oh shoot, what did that change? It changed so much. $6,500. Oh, why are you changing that? Why are you changing that? Okay, I guess we'll just have to try it and just hope that didn't change anything too important. Oh, this ship is already so hard to see. Okay, 2,000. We can see it all, and yet we can't. Okay. We definitely need to zoom in, and then we need to move the camera to the left. So let's drop the target arm length by 1,900, and then adjust the camera position by 7K. Okay, we can drop the target arm length further. Let's go risky here. Let's go 1,500. Okay, it fits. Okay, we'll keep it. Excuse me. Okay. Ship customization's in. Settings menu is in. Okay, let's just right, I want to add the here's what we're gonna do. Change menu level to menu level 1. Duplicate map 1. Rename it to menu level. Let's dive into it. That way we save our, environment. We can get rid of the enemy spawners. Override the world mode to be the menu mode, which should in turn boat customization actor, boat controller, game state should be fine. Yeah. So, save all. Get rid of menu level 1. Now, if we test this, we can see our boat in the environment that we'll be playing in. Start game, new game. Do that. That land kind of... Where's the player start? Okay, it's literally hugging one of the islands. So what we can do to fix this is just slide to the left like that. Try again. Start game, new game. There's our ship. Go back, medium. Go back, small. Okay. I think... Okay, let's update our notes here. Successes. We added a death screen and death mechanic. We added loot boxes, loot drops from enemy kills, first wave spawning in combat game mode. Added armor points currency to select ship menu. Added armor points currency to equip weapons menu. Added 10 single barrel cannon rounds at spawn, plus purchased ammo pool. Oh, you know what we need to save? We need to make sure we are saving the ammo pool when we finish customization, when we hit deploy, essentially. Go to the event graph here. Okay, on click, single barrel ammo, that's how you buy it. On deploy, save loadout. Save loadout, load game from slot, boat save. Single barrel cannons array, triple barrel cannons array, torpedo transforms. Okay, we're not saving our ammo. That is... I'm so glad I stopped to think about that for just a second. Okay. Actually, you know what we can do to expedite this a little bit? Just drag this out and say save game to slot. And then say slot 1. That way it automatically saves our ammo pool every time we purchase some, so the player doesn't have to worry about, external factors that they probably won't even think about. I say all that as if the player is going to even notice this stuff. It's more so we don't have to add another save function elsewhere. You bought something, you save it. Which reminds me, we probably should see if we are saving the fact that we purchased these boats. So uncheck this, uncheck this. We need to look at the select boat widget. Select boat widget is here. Event graph. We're not saving. Okay, that's bad. Save game, 2 slots. Slot 1. Copy that, paste it down there. Paste it here. Connect it there. Connect here. Okay. On-click cruiser, on-click battleship, on-click pre-TPO, on-click back. Okay. Now we are saving whenever we upgrade the boats or unlock them. Thank God. Okay. When we hit deploy, we're saving the location of the turrets. So something... Man, I'm gonna regret saying this. What if the player doesn't like the placement of their weapons? That's rough, right? We'd want to reset the loadout. We do have a reset loadout function in the boat. I wonder if we can just trigger that. Load player arsenal, reset loadout. For each loop array, hit the array index, remove item. When completed, do that again, do that again, do that again. Okay. Let's change the name to reset arsenal. Just to make sure I'm understanding our stuff correctly. Code customization. Code customization's over here. When you click single barrel count, spawn it. Okay. Spent weapon. Ah, there we go. Okay, so we're gonna need to do a... Hold on. Spend weapon count. Make sure we can see that. Right next to it, custom event. Reset weapon count. When are you doing this? At the start. Here we go. Here's what we'll do. Reset weapon counts. We'll just do this. And then what we also need to do is here, sequence. First, do that, and then get all actors of class. Turret. Is that how I want to do this? Get all actors with tag player. Are we doing... When we spawn them, are we declaring that they are owned? No, we're not. Maybe we should do that real quick. Set tag to player. This small thing will make it easier for us to do a for loop and capture how many of these we have in set tag. No, not tags. Set tag. Is there a reason you're not letting me do the regular one? Hold on. Compile, save. What is your problem? We'll do that. Now, does declare owner do anything else? No, it does not. Okay, perfect. We don't need it to do anything else. Okay. Declare owner. Player. Anyway, by using tags, because only the single and triple barrel cannons share a parent, this torpedo would never be found by doing a get all actors of class. So by using the tags instead, we can search for all weapons with a tag and then say remove from the world. Cool. So now when we reset our loadouts, get all actors not of class, get all actors with tag player. Ooh, we should make sure boat customization is not flagged as player. Tag. No tags. No tags. No tags, no tags, no tags, no tags, no tags. Okay, cool. That's what we needed. For loop. Destroy actor bat. And then just to test this, let's just get a button and just throw it out into the world right here. We'll call it reset. And then we'll just test this. Let's say I want to spawn a turret here and I go, I don't like that. You know, it would probably help if I add that functionality to the button, huh? We need to do two things here. We need to first reset weapon count. Reset weapon count. And then we also need to cast to boat customization actor, get player character, and reset loadout. Now I can test this. Oh, it works on the first try. And then just to make sure it's truly working, single barrel cannon count 1. Let's make triple barrel cannon count 2 and torpedo count 2 as well. Compile, save, and test. So we'll put a turret here, we'll add torpedoes here and here, triple barrel cannon count here and here. Cool. Reset. 1, 2, no extra spawns, 1, 2, no extra spawns, and 1, no extra spawns. I love it. Okay. So this needs to be sized 300 by 100. Let's go ahead and try and center this best we can. Perfect. These buttons are currently sitting at -150. We'll make that the same. Get some text. We can actually probably just copy this, paste that there. Change this to reset weapons. Cool. Set that back to 0, set that back to 0. Okay. You load in the game, you see your boat in the atmosphere you're going to be fighting in. Options, new game. We know this is all working for the most part. Unless it's doing that. There we go. Oh, armor points 20. Ooh, you know what we should do? Just to make that this menu, a little more easy to digest. So when you click on this, bind opacity, can we do that? And then just promote this to a variable. Then say single opacity. And then is canon option equal to 1 branch? If true, set canon opacity to 0.5. And if false, set this to 1. Let's test this. Oh, that's not what I wanted at all. Okay, well, Okay, it looks fine there, so there's something wrong with how I set this up. Ah, yes. 1, 1, 1 is very important. Same here. So 1, 1, 1 is there. We need 1, 1, 1 here as well. So if we try that again. Yep. And then you can see it's selected. There you go. Actually, one more thing to test. So we selected it, it's grayed out. We selected a different button instead, we're like, changed our mind. Boom, it works. Cool. Now we just gotta do the same thing for the other ones. Which is fairly simple. Just right-click, promote to variable. Triple opacity. And then get a branch. We're doing so much. Get, is it equal to option 2? Set the opacity. Want to do 1, 1, 1, and do 0.5. Copy paste that there. And then if false, we'll set it to opacity 1. Hook those up. Okay, last one, torpedoes. Made the binding. Promote to variable. Torpedo opacity. Drag it across. Drag this underneath. Set and set. Actually, let's make this easier on ourselves. 1, 1, 1, 0.5. Dive into here, make this 1. Drag this back, get a branch. Set true, set false, connect it in the center here. And then finally, canon option equal to 2. Selected, select, oh shoot. Okay, I did something wrong with the triple barrel cannon one. Yep, this should be 1. No. This is 1. This is 2, and this is 3. One, two, three. Done. Okay. Let's do some small quality of life button updates for visuals. Starting with the main menu. Let's make the quit button red. Now we can make it more red. There we go. Red button. Start game will be a blue button. Cool. And then for the start game, we will make new game a blue button. We'll make load game a... We'll make it a green button. Why not? And then back we'll leave as white. We'll keep that consistent. Cool. That way, player sees their start menu. They're like, ah, there's stuff to do. Click in here. They see new color buttons, which tells them this is a new menu because these menus are very simple. Let's also add some background blur to this stuff inside the vertical box. So background blur. Is it inside the vertical box or is it better to have it underneath? Yeah, it's probably better to have it underneath. So anchor to the side. Set that to 0. Slide it to the right. Let's line up like this. How big is this vertical box? 300 by 275, so 300 by 275. And the vertical box is currently positioned 150 by negative 135. 150 by negative 135. And then we'll also just 310 and 285, just to give it some extra space here. 145 by negative 130. Negative 145. Negative 140. There we go. Background blur strength needs to be adjusted, so we'll set that to 5. We may need to increase the size of all of this. So if we increase the size of this to... I don't know, let's double it. 600 by 550? Holy Jesus, that scared me. Special delivery sending in Send Treaters for a grand time. Oh, Send Treats, thank you so much. Just to catch everyone up, I'm Kaijucon. I'm an amateur game developer and streamer. Oh, Krimba Skulls, thank you for the follow. I'm currently participating in a 10-day game jam, aka I have to make a game in 10 days. We're currently on day 9. I'm just doing some polishing up before I prepare for day 10's preparations. As you can see in the bottom left hand of the screen, got 14 hours left. 97 people signed up for it, and 11 games have been submitted already, so pretty fierce. Good luck. I must dine and dash, but have fun. I'll be lurking around. Yeah, you too, man. I hope we can talk again soon. It was great hearing from you again. Yeah, if, for everyone who's native to my stream, Centreats is excellent dude. I highly recommend checking out his content if you ever get the opportunity. He's a big ball of fun. Okay, what was I doing? Math, 275 times 2 should be 550. Yeah. So we need to increase this position to about here. Negative 275 should do it. And then we just need to adjust the buttons to match that. So let's increase the button sizes a bit. Or can we do that? There we go. Getting late in your time zone. Good night. Not nighttime. Have an amazing stream. Appreciate it, Endless Chaos. It is night. I'll probably be closing out in the next 15 as well, because I gotta get up early to get back into the groove of things here. But we'll see how it goes, right? Vertical walk, 600 by 550. 600 by 550. 150 by negative 275. So 135. 55. 50. There we go. Yeah, that's a bit better. It's not perfect. It's still kind of ugly, but at least it's working as intended. Let's copy these coordinates over to the main menu. So let's slide you over here. So increase the size to 600 by 550. Coordinates are 150 by negative 275, so negative 275. We want to set the buttons to be fill. And then we want to add a background blur. Anchor to the left, please. Negative 275. Oh, sorry, negative 275 is here. And then 150. Yeah. Then do 600 by 550. Set the blur strength to 5. That should be all we need to do to get that set up. Yeah, that'll work. Does that work for all ships? Yeah, that works. Cool. For the options menu, I'd like to add a background blur as well, so let's just roll into that real quick. Options menu. Background blur. We'll add it up here. Put it to 1920 by 1080. Center the screen. Set blur strength to 5. That should be all we need to do. There we go. It's pretty neat. What else did we want to do? I think all that's really left to do... Oh, the enemy AI is not set up correctly. We still aren't shooting cannons for some reason. I'm pretty sure. So if we go to the enemies and go to the PT boats. Shoot the player. Here we go. Oh wait, they're using torpedoes, so the PT boats are actually fine. They don't need to be tweaked that much. It's the cruisers and the battleships that have issues right now. Run from player. Shoot the player. That's the torpedo function. Fire cannons. So the cannons is where our issues are lying from. AI shoot. Are you reloading? If not, check the point light. Line trace by channel. Is your line trace less than 1000 in distance? If false, you can fire your projectile. Make sure your hostile tag is player. Base damage. Delay. Set hidden in game. think we can fix this by just giving the cruisers torpedoes too, right? Yeah, they have torpedoes. Tell you what, let's just do a playtest right now. We're gonna launch the game standalone. We do need to fix the loot drops as well, but maybe that'll be a tomorrow thing. Polished menus with background blurs. Adjusted camera position of ship customization. Okay. This is done, so we don't need to do that tomorrow. Display controls, tutorial, enemy drop weapons, that's done. Death screen, that's done. We need models slash textures for loot box. And then maybe we can add stats screen to death widget. Cool. Okay, let's do a playtest. Launch a standalone game. Save. This might take a second, so bear with me. Let me drink some water while we wait as well. Obscure bokeh. I forgot Unreal does that. Oh man, that's hilarious. I think it's loading. Oh, yep, there it is. I know you can't see it on the stream, but it's actually bleeding into my second monitor right here. So options. Set this to windowed full screen. I don't think that did anything. Yeah, that's not doing anything. Why was it working in the test build but not here? That's weird. Okay, well at least we saw that change. It might be worth changing this text to a different color too. Man, the fact that this is not changing is kind of heartbreaking. But maybe, what if I Alt-Tab maybe? There's a way to... maximize? There we go. Don't know why I was doing that. So if I go to options, is it gonna cause that same issue and apply if I apply? Yep, it is. Oh, that's annoying. The full screen might have issues on multiple monitors. Here, let's go windowed mode. Why? Maximize. We'll have to check this out later, but we can go back for now. Start game. Obviously we don't have a save, so that's good. Load a new save. I forgot to set us back to 0 points. We don't want to be able to upgrade the boat right away, so we'll need to fix that. Had to lock in for a sec. You're all good, Throbbing. You're all good. Let's just add a single cannon here. We have 10 rounds, so let's just survive as long as we can with that. Let's just actually make sure reset weapons works too. Okay, that's working. Deploy. Yeah, I do want to tweak the sensitivity of this control scheme as well. Oh shoot. Oh, my cannon didn't spawn in the right place? Why? It was working just fine before. Well, that's not good. Okay, at least the game over screen's working. Main menu. And quit. Alright. Let's document what we saw. We'll call it known issues here. Known issues. So first off, full screen not working correctly. Cannons not spawning correctly during combat game mode. I think that's the only two main issues that we saw during that brief playtest. Now I gotta close out pretty soon here, but I just want to glance. Not you. Go customization actor. So the coordinates are saved here. They're based on make transform at the impact point. You know what it might be? We change this. If we change this back to 0. Yeah, if we change this back to 0, I bet you that'll fix the issue. So let's go here. Start game, new game, boat, place it here, deploy. No, the hovering turret issue is back. Okay, at least we fixed the positioning issue. So what would else be causing it? Here, save this. Okay, menu level player start is at 150 height. Is it the same in our combat mode? It is. Okay, so that height issue isn't being caused by that. It's being caused by something else. What else would be causing that issue? If we cast down like this. Yeah, that's still working as intended. So something about how we're loading in is causing that issue again. If we go back to our player character combat, nothing changed here, so that shouldn't be what caused it. We do a subtract here. That is still active. So what if we just increase that to 150? Okay, so 150 is too much, but that is the right thing we need to do. So 100 maybe. Oh, sorry, Thrubbing. I just noticed your stuff. Let me read that real quick. What's not that? Oh, you're pulling quotes from the Book of Matthew. I hope you understand and agree. Been a while since I've read any of the Bible. I can say I understand. Like how it encourages people. This is just a lot to take in right now. This is making me realize if I ever want to learn how to make a game, I'm gonna have to really lock in. Yeah, Krembus. I don't know if you were here when I mentioned it earlier, but the whole reason I started doing game jams is because I spent almost 15 years wishing I was a game developer and not trying hard enough to become one. And so doing game jams actually forces me to actually try and do good on them. Maybe minus 130. That'll get us through the finish line here. Ta-da! And the turret moves with us. So yeah, we probably need to copy these coordinates across the board here. There we go. Okay. So now, in theory, we're gonna need to mess with our save state real quick. Let's pretend we have these unlocked. Reset this is 0 before I forget. Weapon stats. Let's pretend I have one of everything. And then we'll test all weapons on all boats. So PT boat, we'll add single barrel cannon, triple barrel cannon, and a torpedo. Go. All of them are at the right height. Perfect. Now we need to do that again. Did you make all the models yourself? Either way, major respect for doing any of this. Let me think. Like the boats I made myself. The turrets, they're literally cubes smashed together. But yeah, I did make those. And I think the only model that I didn't quote unquote make is it should be right here. Yeah, this loot drop. This is a cube that just comes in Unreal, and then I just gave it color so I knew what kind of loot spawned when the enemy dies. But yeah. Learning Blender, which is the 3D modeling tool I use, was super important for all my game projects because I make 3D games. And my regular viewer Awen Vaylorn, I don't know if he's still in the chat, but he's been a huge help in helping me learn Blender. Okay, one more test we need to do. The cruiser. So triple barrel cannon, torpedo, and reset. I forget that my mouse is not exact, it's above. The ship is still blinking. Why? I thought I fixed that. Whatever. Why are there 2 torpedoes? Hold on. One, 2, 3, go. Okay, now they're spawned correctly and we're moving correctly. Cool. I've been meaning to learn Blender so I can make little rooms instead of using Minecraft as a reference. Honestly, like, when it comes to using Blender for that stuff, you don't even have to make the models themselves. Let me recommend you a really cool resource. There's a website called Pizza Poly. They have a ton of free-to-use low-poly assets. And it was made by an indie developer who wanted to help 3D modelers get their work out there. Genuinely great stuff on there. I highly recommend checking out that website. If you want to just start with assembling existing models to make rooms before learning on full 3D modeling. And Blender is actually not as intimidating as it seems when you first open the program. You just need to start by looking at like learning Blender from scratch or like beginner's guide to Blender videos. Those will give you some of the basic tips that you need to know to get started. And then as you learn more advanced features, you can start researching that or experimenting. I personally do a lot of experimenting. That's how I learn stuff. I don't retain much when I watch tutorial videos. I have to do it and try to do it by memory after the fact, or just, hey, does this work? But yeah, I highly recommend checking out those resources. Good stuff. Okay, I think that's all we're gonna do today. So let's save. We fixed this, so we don't have to worry about that known issue anymore. So tomorrow we're gonna work on finding a way to display the controls during gameplay. Tutorial, bottle textures for a loot box, stat screen on death. Ooh, custom cursor. That we need to do as well. And then there's something else I'm forgetting. Oh, we need to tune down the sensitivity of the turning wheel. Turning wheel sensitivity is too high. Just to showcase what I'm talking about real quick, let's just jump into a brief game with the PT boat. So this wheel, this UI, is how we turn our camera, because that's how it was in the game I'm remaking. Issue being is that it's very fast. Like, if I'm trying to just stay focused on him as a target, like, this goes really fast. So I need to find a way to slow that down. I say that... Hold on. Could I maybe just... divide by 2? This is turn camera, right? So that's left and right. That's all I needed to do. Oh my god. Ideally, we would also have a customization option, though, like sensitivity sliders. Yeah, that's way better. Okay. Cool. Missing sensitivity sliders. Cool. This is what we're working on tomorrow. What did I schedule that for? I know I set it up on my YouTube stream side. I don't know if I set it up on the Twitch side. If I go to my YouTube studio page, try not to yawn. Okay. Tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. MST. Mountain Standard Time. I think California is PST, and PST is an hour behind right now. Or are they an hour ahead? I don't remember. But 9:30 a.m. PST. We're gonna pick up where we left off, and we're gonna work. We're gonna work so much. In the meantime, though, thanks to everyone who tuned in, whether you be on Twitch or YouTube. Thanks to everyone who sent messages. Thanks again to Sentreats for the raid. And thanks to everyone who followed during this stream. I really hope you found everything I'm doing here either entertaining or insightful. And we'll pick this